video, we are going to demonstrate some of the key capabilities of Klyff and giving you an introduction of what really Klyff is as a platform. So, as you would imagine, it is an IoT product with intelligence and a lot of speed. So, it is a lightning speed intelligent IoT platform which is packed with a lot of features. It is very diverse that it can handle a lot of different industries. It can connect to a lot of different devices. The beauty of the system is that you can actually load AI models on those devices to make them efficient. There are a lot of protocols which are supported, and there is a rich dashboarding as well as an extensive alerting mechanism so that notifications can be sent out to the users who can act on them. In terms of some of the features, and of course there are many more, but in some of the features that Klyff already has is that you can provision a lot of devices, you can provision assets, you can provision customers. By default, it is a multi-tenant architecture that we'll talk about a little more. It supports multiple transports to ingest data. You can collect and visualize data from devices and assets. You can deploy machine learning models. You can deploy deep learning models. You can analyze the incoming telemetry. Then you can control your devices using RPC. There are built-in workflows. Uh, as we already mentioned, there's extensive support for designing dashboards, as we'll see in the small demo as well. And then we can enable, like rule chains, which are customizable rule chains through which you can not only configure rules specific to a customer, but you can also connect to a lot of external systems. You can push device data onto other systems. It has a multi-tenant architecture, which means that you can not only define tenants, but under each tenant, you can define customers, and for every customer, you can define users for that customers. So essentially, a lot of dashboards and devices that you'll be creating, you can actually pin them down to a customer level so that no two customers within the same tenant as well can see each other's information. Then from good software development perspective, it supports a lot of logging and tracking. It is an API first strategy. You can expose your platform's API to external systems for them to engage with the system, for them to work with the system, and you can control their API accesses. You can rate limit them, you can throttle them, so on and so forth. Quickly, let us look at also the architecture of Klyff. And what you see here now on your screen is that it supports various devices. So, like there are various protocols that are supported, as you can see. And these devices, like they can connect through the transport to the core systems of Klyff that are the Klyff core, the Klyff AI engine, the rule engine, so on and so forth. Wherever you see a mountain sign against the component, that means that these are horizontally scalable and these are fault tolerant. So you can pretty much, like horizontally scale them, and then you can, like make a system scalable extensively. When we talk about scalability, not only Klyff is things board on steroids because a lot of components are made with functional programming and actor ecosystem. What that means is that for you to support, say, 15,000 devices sending 10,000 messages per second, and if you're on a particular cloud provider, then your monthly cost is going to be less than $40 a month. Now, that does seem low, but that also showcases the efficiency of the Klyff platform. Similarly, if you have 100,000 devices sending out 30,000 messages per second, your monthly cost is going to be in the range of $200 or less than $200. Of course, you can host it on your own and you can deploy it on any cloud that you like. So it is pretty flexible from that perspective. Now, that said, we have given a brief introduction about Klyff. Let us try to quickly go into a quick demo for the Klyff platform. So here what we are doing is that we are trying to log in with one of the tenants on the Klyff platform. So Bob Hastings, he's going to log in and you'll be seeing the dashboard that Bob sees first. So this is the dashboard that Bob sees first. But let us now go through the steps of creating a similar kind of a dashboard like this. So Klyff supports a lot of functionality, as you can see, like right from dashboards to entities to different profiles, customers, rule chains. Then we have your like advanced features, edge management, notification center, API usage, and so on, security. But we would not cover everything under the demonstration today. We just try to go through with some of the basics. So as a basic, say for example, these are some of the customers that we have in the system. So there is a high-tech rocket science company, there's a retail client, there's a smart city, and then there is public, which means that a lot of your devices that you create, which are up for public consumption, they don't need to be assigned to a customer, and publicly they can be accessed. So let us take a look at SpaceX. And what we'll try to do is that we'll try to create a new device for SpaceX, and then we go from there. So let us see how do we create a new device. So you go to devices. What we are going to do is that, so we already have a launcher thermostat at the SpaceX factory. We also have an engine thermostat. Let us try to create another device which could be used for the rockets that are being manufactured over there. Uh, for the ease, let us, like call it the fuel injector thermostat. And you can give it a label if you want. And we want to give it a profile, not the default profile, but we want to give it a thermostat profile. And I'll show you why that is important. What we can also do is that we can assign the device to the customer either here or we can assign it later as well. And we say add. Now, if you notice, this device can be connected through various protocols, HTTP, MQTT, CoAP. So there are various protocols through which we can connect. And since I'm running on a Linux system, it shows me that, okay, this is how you want to pass data to the device if you're using HTTP. So let us try that. So if I get to our terminal and put in this information so that we are able to pass on some of the data to this particular device. So let us get the terminal over here. And as you'll see, is that what we are trying to do here is that we are sending out a curl request, trying to pass some data to the device that we have newly created. And, and we send out, oops, pardon me, added a small issue here. Okay, let us send out the curl request. So as you can see on the device telemetry, you can see the latest telemetry that we sent out a temperature of 25, and that is what we got here. Similarly, if we change the temperature to 33, you see that the temperature did change. So we know that, okay, the device is connected, it is working through HTTP. Now let us close this. And we have this fuel injector thermostat, which is an active device now since we started sending data to it. Now, after this, since we have added a device, let us try to create a dashboard. Now, for creating a dashboard, you just go to the dashboards, you hit a new dashboard, and we create a dashboard. Let us call it the SpaceX dash, and we can assign it to the customer. In this case, it is SpaceX, and then we do an add. So once you have the dashboard, what you can really do with the dashboard is that you can start adding widgets to it. And by widget, what we mean is that these are going to be cards, if you will, which will start showing you information in real time. So let us start doing that. Let us add. So there are various kind of widgets that are available. Let us try to pick up a simple one, which is say a card. We want to display temperature. We'll just pick up maybe a value card and we'll pick up the device that we just created, which is the fuel injector thermostat. And we say that, okay, the data key is temperature and the layout is square. And of course, you can play with a lot of options. But let us say that we add this. So if you notice, 33 was the temperature that we had sent out. Now, let us try to make a change to this one and say that, okay, the temperature actually went down, it went down to 27. So you can see the temperature did change. So in the real time, you can see the dashboard here. What we can also do is that, okay, let us add some trends to it. So maybe we add some more information, which could be, say, not a table, maybe let's add a chart. We add a time series chart. In the time series chart, what we say is that, okay, display the information. Let us pick up our device as fuel injector. We know that, okay, we are going to be working on the temperature, and let us say that we hit on add. So this time series chart, again, you can see that we can reposition on the dashboard. We can show all of that. So right now it is showing the average temperature as 27 degrees. Let us try to throw out some more data to it. So maybe the temperature was 26. We sent that out. Then the temperature went up to 29. So as you'll see that now we start seeing, like the change over here, and maybe the temperature went down to 15. So you start seeing that we are seeing, like our data change real time in the graph that we have. Now, another interesting thing that we can do here with the Klyff platform is that you can add another widget, which is say an alarm widget, and we want to say that, okay, whenever there is an alarm that gets triggered, then in that case, show us the alarm over here. So let us pick up our device again, and you can of course play around with a lot of settings, but we say that, okay, this is the alarm that we want to add. And if there is any alarm, then you'll show it here. Let us try to maybe beautify our dashboard a little, move this one here, expand this one until here, maybe expand this one until here. This one becomes a little bigger as well, not that big, maybe a little big, a little smaller, and we bring it here. So you can play around with the dashboard and you can keep working with that. Now let us save this dashboard. So this is the SpaceX dash that we have saved. And let us try to see how do the alarms work. So if you remember, we actually chose the thermostat profile, and the thermostat profile from here you can actually configure alarms. So if you say that you want to edit it and you want to add a new alarm, so this is how you add a new alarm rule. And when you add a new alarm rule, you get a window like this in which what is the type of the alarm, what is the severity, what is the alarm condition. So let us look at something that we have already done. So this is the critical temperature reached alarm, in which we say that as soon as the temperature of the thermostat jumps beyond 35 degrees, then in that case we should see an alarm. Now let us see how that works in action. So let us go back to our dashboard on the SpaceX dash. So right now there are no alarms. Our temperature is 15 degrees. It seems to be working fine. Let us send out a few more temperature settings. So yes, it was 15, then it went up to maybe 17, then it became 27, and then it became 33. So far so good. Everything seems to be trending well. There are no alarms. But now what we want to do is not now. We want to trigger an alarm. So it went up to 36. So as you see, as soon as it triggered up to 36, you actually ended up getting an alarm, which is what we said, that critical temperature reached. And then now what you can do is that you can start working on the alarm. If somebody is looking at the alarm, they could say that, hey, this might be due to the electric circuit short nearby or something like that. So essentially what we are saying is that, like somebody has started working on the alarm. Once the alarm is done, then you could say that, okay, yeah, like I acknowledge the alarm, that yes, this is something that I'm taking care of. Then all the things get recorded over here. And then eventually once the things are resolved, you can clear the alarm saying that, okay, yeah, like we are sure that this is resolved. We have cleared the alarm and the temperature has probably, yeah, like gone down to 31 and it is stabilizing, so on and so forth, whatever. Another interesting thing that you can do with the dashboard is that you can end up adding a background image to the dashboard. So you can play around with the dashboard quite a bit. You could also say that, okay, for this particular card, what I want to do is that, like this is how it looks like, but I want to give it some background. I want to give it a background color of maybe a yellow or an orange. Let's pick up this one. We say select, we say apply, and we say apply. So you see that now you have a card which has got a different background color. So you can play around for all of these widgets, including, like including the dashboard by itself. So you can update the dashboard image. You can select an image, and you're like that'll become your dashboard image that goes on this particular dashboard. So you can play around with a lot of things doing that. So we have looked at the alarm, we have looked at the device profiles, we have shown you that the alarm is getting triggered. Now let us see, how do we share a particular dashboard with a customer? So this is a dashboard that we have created. So you go here and you say that, okay, I want to assign it to a customer. So when we built it, we already assigned, but you could also assign it from here. And if you go to the customers now, uh, so let's see, let's go to the customer and you go to SpaceX. This is the customer, but what you could also do is that you can manage the users within that customer. So for example, here we have got these two users which already exist. Now let us quickly maybe try to create another user for this customer. Let's say the user's name is, the email is bob@spacex.com. Bob uh, Lostman, and we say that, okay, we want to see the activation link for this customer. So we say, okay, show us the activation link. Let us copy this link and then we close. So we have got a customer user under the customer called Bob Lostman. Now let us try to actually log in to this particular customer. So we go and we log in with the email ID that we rather, like the activation link that we have. So let us put the activation link over here. So it asks us to give us a password. So let's give it a password. And we say that create the password. And you notice that Bob Lastman, that is our customer here. This is the dashboard that he's seeing right now. So let us change that a little, right? Let us go to, let us go back to Bob. And what we want to do is that we want to show him this dashboard that we have created. So instead of the default dashboard, you can show him the SpaceX dashboard. Let us do that. Now, let's kill that. Let's go back to the customer. Let's log out. Log in again with Bob and com. Let's get the password. And you'll see that, yes, we are now seeing the dashboard that we had given Bob access to. Now, what you could also do is that, so Bob still has access to, like a few other instances over here. So he can still go, look at all the devices. But what if we want to control all of that and just give the dashboard access so that Bob is just able to see the dashboard? Okay, let's go back again. Let's go to Bob. And now what we want to do is that we want to show the dashboard in full screen and we want to hide rest of the items. So let us do that. Go back to Bob. Let us log out, log back in, and, and voila. Now what Bob sees is just the dashboard over here, and that is all that he can do. So you're like, he can just work with the dashboard. He does not have access to a lot of other information over here. So that is quickly what we really wanted to show. But let us see if Bob is actually able to see the results changing in real time. So probably he is. So we are on Bob. Bob is able to see the data change in real time. And let us give him a few more entries. So we went from 26, and then we went to say 28. And yes, the data seems to be changing. And what if we hit the alarm condition if it is more than 35? So yes, Bob gets an alarm as well. So you see, this is how easy it is not only to program through Klyff, but also actually make it available to your customers by giving their users access. So yeah, like it's pretty easy to play with the system. For any information that you need, please give us a shout at hello@klyff.com, and we'll be there to answer any queries of yours. Thank you so much.